Ethan trusted his best friend with everything: his code, his dreams, his future. One email destroyed it all. This is a story of Ethan and Daniel, two friends, one startup, and a betrayal that changed everything. In a bustling city, under the shadows of towering skyscrapers, lived a man named Ethan, a software engineer by day and a dreamer by night. He aspired to make the tech world a better place. However, his life took a dark turn when his closest friend, Daniel, betrayed him. They both started a tech startup together, pouring their hearts and souls into it. They were a dynamic duo, dreamers intent on changing the industry. But Daniel's greed ran deeper than their friendship. Ethan had developed an innovative app that was gaining traction. Instead of sharing the profits and success, Daniel devised a plan to steal the app for himself. Under the guise of loyalty, he manipulated Ethan, convincing him to share trade secrets and bring him in on everything. One fateful night, Ethan returned home to find an email that shattered his world. A message from an investor who had decided to side with Daniel's version of the app. The words "exclusive agreement" rang in Ethan's ears, leaving him gutted by the betrayal. Once filled with ambition and hope, Ethan now felt like a puppet cut from its strings. He realized he couldn't let this go unpunished. Driven by fury mixed with heartbreak, he dove into research about corporate law and technology loopholes. The pain of betrayal became the fuel for his fire of vengeance. He spent sleepless nights gathering evidence, documenting Daniel's deceit, and considering the best approach to reclaim what was rightfully his. As he delved deeper, Ethan discovered a weakness in Daniel's project, a significant oversight that left it vulnerable to sabotage. It was a chink in Daniel's armor that Ethan needed to exploit. Equipped with knowledge and a carefully crafted plan, he plotted his revenge. It wasn't just about getting even. It was about ensuring Daniel faced justice for his betrayal. The night before the launch of Daniel's app, Ethan executed his plan with steely determination. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, adrenaline coursed through his veins. With a calm composure, he unleashed a series of countermeasures designed to expose Daniel's deceitful tactics publicly. Ethan knew the ramifications of his actions, but felt it was a necessary step in restoring balance. As he hit the send button, a sense of satisfaction washed over him. What had started as a friendship had now turned into a battle of wits, and Ethan was ready to reclaim his narrative. The next day would change everything. The world would witness the truth behind Daniel's facade, and justice would prevail. On the day of the launch, the atmosphere in the city was electric. The tech community buzzed with excitement, and Daniel stood confidently on stage, ready to unveil his project. He had deceived everyone, but unbeknownst to him, a storm was brewing just below the surface. Ethan, the one who had been cast aside, was about to reclaim his narrative. As the clock struck noon and the countdown reached zero, Daniel launched his app with all the flair of a seasoned showman. He beamed with satisfaction, unaware that Ethan had orchestrated a behind-the-scenes revelation. With a few swift keystrokes, Ethan executed his master plan, triggering a live feed that displayed Daniel's corrupt practices and proof of his deceit. The screens across the city flashed with evidence, emails, documents, and images that implicated Daniel in his underhanded dealings. Gasps filled the room, and a murmur rippled through the audience. Investors exchanged stunned glances, grappling with the shocking betrayal. Daniel's face drained of color as he realized what was happening. Panic set in as a live broadcast showcased his emails, revealing his plot to rip off Ethan and claim the app as his own. As the truth erupted in real time, Ethan could hardly contain his satisfaction. Justice, after all, was finally in his grasp. Investors pulled out their support for Daniel's project one after another, and news outlets began a frenzy over the scandal. The media descended, ready to report the thrilling downfall of a once promising entrepreneur accused of fraud. Daniel's grand ambitions crumbled before him in mere moments, like a house of cards. Ethan watched from the sidelines with a mix of emotions: relief, satisfaction, and a sense of accomplishment. Justice was served, but the victory felt hollow. He had reclaimed his work and exposed Daniel, Yet he wondered if this path would bring him true peace. Was his quest for vengeance worth the emotional toll? With the lawn spiraling into chaos, Ethan knew his next steps were crucial. He had to rise above the wreckage and ensure his next move truly defined him, not as a man driven by revenge, but as someone ready to build something significant. As the dust settled from the unfolding saga, Ethan found himself in a position he never expected. Daniel's empire had crumbled, but the aftermath left Ethan grappling with complicated emotions. The sense of victory was overshadowed by the realization that revenge came at a steep price. The thrill of watching Daniel's downfall dissipated into the understanding that he needed to carve a new path based on integrity and resilience. In the wake of the scandal, a transformation erupted in the tech community. Many began to question the ethical implications of innovation, realizing how easily ambition could become corruption. Fueled by a newfound passion for ethical tech, Ethan took on a different role. He decided to step away from the chaos of vengeance and instead use his experience as a lesson to inspire others. Ethan established a mentorship program for aspiring developers, teaching them the importance of honesty and ethical practices in technology. He shared his story of betrayal, emphasizing that while ambition is important, integrity must never come second. Every seminar and workshop he conducted became a platform for change, where he encouraged young minds to innovate responsibly. 1 year later, Ethan stood before a crowded auditorium, speaking to eager students about his experiences with betrayal and vengeance. As he shared the story of his rise from the ashes of betrayal, he could see how his journey resonated with them. His voice carried a message of resilience and redemption. True strength, Ethan declared, is not in the act of revenge, but in the ability to rebuild and inspire others. As the audience erupted in applause, a sense of fulfillment washed over him. He had shifted his focus from personal vengeance to collective empowerment. The thoughts of revenge faded as he realized that he was better than his past actions. He was now an advocate for ethical innovation, steering the next generation towards a future grounded in integrity. Ethan also discovered the power of forgiveness, both for himself and for Daniel. Though their friendship had been shattered, he learned that harboring anger would only consume him. Releasing that burden allowed him to heal, paving the way for new relationships based on trust and respect. In the end, Ethan didn't just reclaim his place in the tech world. He paved the way for a brighter future for many. His journey transformed his passion for technology into a mission for justice and integrity. The world needed visionaries, not just in the realm of coding, but in the realm of ethics. With his head held high and a heart full of purpose, Ethan embraced his new life. He had proven that while betrayal may wound deeply, it could also lead to growth, understanding, and a commitment to making the world a better place. Ultimately, the light of justice had not only shone through Ethan's actions, but had illuminated a path for others to follow, one where dreams and honesty walked hand in hand toward a promising future.